wow, could that be live video inside of Unreal Engine 5? How do you even get it in there? And do live compositing, NDI input, NDI output, RTMP streams, 360-degree, full spherical, equi-rectangular video, live to YouTube? If you're wondering how to do all of that, you've come to the right place. Whether you're a complete beginner or somewhat experienced broadcast engineer new to Unreal Engine, I'm gonna show you just how to do it in this tutorial. Full disclosure here, Offworld Live sponsored this video, but I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't genuinely believe in their product and their services. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. You'll want to get started by heading over to offworld.live or clicking the first link in the video description. Over there, you can sign up for an account and then start using their download center to download the installer for the Unreal Live Streaming Toolkit. Make sure to read everything carefully while you're installing the plugin. Select the location of your Unreal Engine 5 installation and then proceed. You will also need to install NDI. That will most likely require you to restart your computer. Once you're done installing all of these plugins, you can open up Unreal Engine 5 and start a new project. I suggest you use the virtual production template because that comes with some plugins enabled that might come in handy later. With the new project open, head on over to the Plugins tab and search for Offworld Live to then enable the plugin. You may need to restart your engine at this point. And then you can start logging into the plugin and using it right away. Believe me, even I was completely surprised by just how easy it is to use this plugin. You don't need to write a single line of code or open up a blueprint, you can just get started right away. And I think with that it's time to go into the main section of the video, where I'm actually going to tell you how to start compositing and outputting video to NDI, input NDI video, output RTMP streams, and so on. Oh, and I can't forget 360-degree video streams, of course. But that is at the very end. Alright, let's go. I want to mention one more thing that's kind of optional, but you'll definitely thank yourself if you do it now. And that would be heading to your project settings, searching for alpha, and making sure that in the post-processing, enable alpha channel support and post-processing experimental section here, this is set to allow through tone mapper and not linear color space only. If you select this and hit allow through tone mapper, that will then prompt you to restart the editor. Sit back, enjoy the show, and once that's done, you can really get going. Okay, as you can see, we have this transparent video inside of Unreal Engine 5 that is streamed directly over NDI into Unreal Engine. What I'm using for that is just a simple media source for now. This could be pretty much anything, like a video capture source, whatever you can imagine, static image even. And let me just add into the filter section right here. We got a nice little image mask blend, garbage mask. And as you can see, when I change something on the left here in OBS, because this is coming over NDI, it's also changing in Unreal Engine. That's how easy it is. Turn the chroma key on or off. Here's probably the most important part, the dedicated NDI output. You just name this whatever you like it to be and then apply the changes and you start streaming NDI output. What you're going to need for that, of course, is the NDI plugin for OBS, but a link to that will be in the video description. I'm not going to be going over how to install that because that's pretty straightforward. If you have any problems, just let me know. That should then allow you to create one of these dedicated NDI output filters. And I think now it's time for me to show you how to set this up inside of Unreal Engine. We save this real quick. I'm going to start by making a new level, just an empty level, nothing in it. Save that as, let's see, NDI input test. You can name that whatever you want. And the first thing I'm going to grab is right here, Offworld Live, NDI Receiver Manager. I'm just going to make one of these. Head down here to the NDI receivers. Click on Add Element. Go in here, pick one of these. Just going to be my green screen texture, NDI output. That is what came straight from the dedicated NDI output on the left here. Click Active. Oh, I can't because we still need a render target. And for that, I'm gonna go over to this right here. Instead of selecting one of these, I'm just gonna create a new one, new render target right here. Name that my green screen input target. Got it. Now I can set it to active because we have a render target now. At any moment now, this should be updating.
As you can see, if I open it up and bring it over here, you can see that is the exact same source as from OBS, and we can use that now. I'm gonna navigate to the browser right here. I'm gonna right click and create a new material. My green screen input target mat, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, over here in my material, and I'm just gonna go full screen that for now. Texture still streaming in, and I'm gonna set it to alpha composite. Drag the alpha into opacity, hit apply, and save. Gonna go in here, create a basic shape. Just gonna, yeah, why not? A cube. Scale it. Oh wait, 1.6 by 0.9. Now I can go and select my green screen material, put that on here. Let me just get one more cube in here. Cube. That is just so you can see that this is actually transparent. I haven't really done a good job chroma keying this. So instead of alpha composite, I'm just gonna go with masked and put the alpha into opacity mask, just like that. Hit apply, and there we go. That's a masked material now, which should show this off just a little bit better. You will of course do your chroma keying perfectly, so there's probably nothing to worry about for you. And with that, we have video inside of Unreal Engine. I'm just gonna go log this in again. Now you can scale it however you like. Now, with that, we have covered the basics of NDI video input. How about we use it in a comp? And what do I mean by that? I'm just gonna go up here, Window, Virtual Production, Composure Compositing. That's gonna open up somewhere on a screen where I don't need it. So I'm just gonna dock it here and create a new comp. I'm gonna name that my green screen comp, because why not? I'll add a layer element, in this case a media plate. There we go, media plate 1. And let's see, instead of a media source, because we're not using a media source right now, I'm gonna go for the texture input and select my green screen input target instead. So that's the media plate. I'll go over here and add a cine camera actor. There we go. Oops, I forgot. We don't even have lighting in the scene so far. So I'm just gonna go and create a directional light. Light it up. And with that we have our cinecam actor ready to go. In Composure, I'll add a CG layer and name that foreground, FG. Hit Control D again to duplicate that twice. Name this one floor, and this one shadow. Now I'll just add 3 planes. Turn that 90 degrees. Turn this 90 degrees. Alright. Just make this real rough. Select all of these. Search for cast shadow, turn cast shadow off. And now I'll just go into Window, Layers, activate this. Layers is right here. I'll just go with all of these actors selected. Add selected actors to new layer. I'll just name this floor. Get some foreground element going. I'm gonna add my shaved metahuman. Oops. There we go. Select the metahuman as my foreground element. Let's try a cone. Green cone now. Okay. Green cone, metahuman, both selected. I'm gonna create a new layer. Add selected actors to new layer. Name that FG for foreground. And then come back to my Composure Compositing. In the foreground layer, I want to go down here and go to Capture Actors. Add one element. Go to the first one. Actor set. Foreground. Where's my camera? There's my camera. Cinecam. Bam. I mean, you can pilot cameras, of course. But while I'm at it, while I'm still here, I might just go into the camera settings and go for full frame DSLR as my film back, because that's what I usually shoot on. Then set the current focal length to 28, because that is also what I usually shoot on lately. All right, there we go. Composure, that's going to be super specific to your needs. So yeah, foreground. In foreground, we can see that this is selected quite nicely. That is foreground. Floor is going to be slightly different. Again, inputs, I'm going to add 1. Add, you guessed it, the floor as my only input for the floor. Now in the shadow layer element, that's where you're going to select 2 capture actors. First, the floor, and then the foreground. Both of these. Now, we return to the comp, and this is still empty. This is not outputting anything yet, because we need a transform pass. Compositing element material pass. Easy peasy. And for this one, I'm just going to search for my M360 composite. This is a material that I've already prepared. This is what it looks like. You have your composite material that's going to be in the domain of post-process material. You create an over node that you can find by just searching for over. Should be in the Composure tab. You have your foreground, your media plate, your floor, your shadow. That looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? This should be fine, actually. Light. I'm going to add a skylight. Alright. Skylight. That can be whatever it wants to be. I'm going to select a cube map. SLS specified cube map. Go for one that I've already prepared, and then return to my composure. There we go. Now that's much better. That's what I was missing. These shadows are captured quite nicely. To make this easier for me, I'm just gonna copy this over node and feed this into B. Copy my media plate 1. Get the RGBA, feed that into here. That into emissive, hit apply, save, and when I return to my composure, I should now be rendered in front. And if I go full screen here, you should be able to see that this is rendering correctly with all the transparency and even this garbage on the side. I'm just going to create one more media plate 2. And in my outliner, I'm going to go to the NDI Receiver Manager and just add an element. Back to OBS, I need more media sources. What's the best way to do that? I'm just going to go into the green screen. Wait, no, this media source right here. Filters. Right? I don't need to chroma key anything here. Hit, again, dedicated NDI output. And I'm just going to name this, instead of dedicated, I'm going to name this background plate apply changes. That's important. And then you go leave, and this is going to play in a loop. Now this pops up. I have my background plate. I'm going to create a render target right here again. Render target, background plate. NDI, you can name that whatever you want. I'm just gonna continue with the chaos. Name this background plate NDI. Hit activate. This should start streaming into Unreal right now. Both from the same OBS, by the way. You don't have to get the NDI input via OBS, of course, but this is just convenient for me right now to show all of this off. Okay, and there we go. That's your background plate NDI. We got this plate again. Texture input, media plate 2 selected, Background, plate NDI, feed that into here. That is now active. But why is it not showing up? Simple explanation. I'm going to go back into my green screen comp. This has to be media plate 1 because that's my foreground element. That's my foreground NDI stream. I'm going to name this media plate 2. Hit apply. And now you should see that there's lots of things going on here. We got the background. We got the foreground. Media plate 1. I can just toggle that off. Of course, on, off. What I actually want to do now is focus my attention on the placement of the camera, actually. We have the small preview. That's good to go. So yeah, comp, set up correctly. Now let's focus our attention towards the directional light, perhaps. I'm going to reset this. Actually, I just really want to reset this. Get this to minus 31.5. Why do I go for 31.5 exactly? Because that matches up with the time and the angle of the sun that I recorded my background plate at. This one right here. That was at like 6 p.m. So yeah, 31.5 degrees should match exactly. For the shadows. Oh no. That's what it was. I'm looking right on, and I need to look down just a little bit and go activate my green screen comp again. So far so good. I'm just going to pin that for now so I can keep an eye on it. Go back to my Cinecam actor and just keep moving it around until some of this matches. And now, since I'm streaming this in from OBS, stop this video right here. And now that gives me the perfect way to just align my shadows. One sec. I'm gonna select my Cinecam actor again. Oh yeah, move that back. Just move it back. Keep moving it back. I already set my focal length accordingly. Let's see. Do I need a steeper angle or not? I think that's fine. This is clipping in, so I need to scale that up just a little bit. Keep that in the view. There we go. I can now go and try to move my metahuman. And yeah, that's already really nice. Like, as you can tell, probably. Got our metahuman. You can move that around, casting this shadow quite nicely. I'm going to turn off media plate, what was it, 1? Yeah. Because that feels out of place. Hair physics working, bouncing around. I can lift this guy up. Whoops. And just super simple way to composite this. And I got pretty lucky because these shadows, they actually look fine. I could adjust the intensity of the sun just a little bit. Let's go for 5 lux instead. I think I like that. Now, one way to bring back more of these highlights would be to just scale down the intensity of your skylight instead to maybe match these black levels of the shadows a little bit better. I just put the intensity scale of my skylight down to like 0.5. And I think that does a beautiful job at compositing something here. But now, how do I output something? I go into my Composure, green screen comp, and now I'm heading to the Output tab. All right, Output. Output pass. I'm going to go to Render Target Compositing Output instead. Then go in here, create a new render target. And I'm just going to name that Composure Output Target. Okay. Composure Output Target is enabled, is active. 1920 by 1080 looks fine to me because that's the native resolution of the background plate. Okay, so I got my green screen comp now. What's an easy way to get it out of OBS? I'm just gonna go for Offer Live. And this time I'm gonna maybe go for the OWL Spout Sender Manager. Spout Sender. Add an element. Go in here And since I just created my Composure output target, I'm going to put that in here. Name this Spout to OBS, for example. Doesn't have to be. And set it to active. And there's also a very, very nice OBS plugin that's going to allow you to input Spout into OBS as a source. So I'm just going to add a Spout to capture. Zip. Use the first available sender. And you may already have noticed, haha, that is with almost no latency. I think we can agree that there is there latency? I don't think there is. That's practically the same frame, right? Spout. Amazing. Right into OBS. I'm just going to dock that here. And as you can see, it's already being sent over. Very first output into OBS. Or, really any other software that is supporting Spout input. And I can move the character around and it immediately shows up in OBS. No screen capture, no nothing. Like this is straight up render texture to OBS. And in OBS, you can, of course, just do whatever you like start recording, for example, start streaming, even use it in the virtual camera for something like Skype, Discord, any chat application. You know how it is. One more thing. Some of you asked me, how do I stream from Unreal to like Facebook Live or YouTube? And I didn't really have an answer, but now I do. The answer again is Off-World Live. I'm actually just gonna go and remove this for now. It's not gonna break anything. Okay, Off-World Live. I'll just add a media output. Haha. Stream to RTMP. This would be where again you can just add like your composure target or whatever in your OWL media output, and then enter your stream URL and your stream key from whatever platform you have, be it YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, any other platform, your custom RTMP ingest server. If you know how live streaming works, I don't think I have to explain this. You just enter all that, select your video bitrate, your audio bitrate, and hit start. I'll go and do that right now. I'll go to YouTube, copy my live stream URL, put that in here, copy my live stream key. Whoops, I'm gonna censor that. You didn't see anything. Okay, select my bitrate as, let's go for 9001. I think that's a nice video bitrate for full HD. And yeah, then I'm just gonna hit start. And over here on YouTube, I should be receiving the stream any moment now. That was really fast, like 5 seconds. And there we go. Hey, you see me waving? Move my MetaHuman and see just how fast this ends up on YouTube. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. Okay, 10-second delay. That's probably due to YouTube. Normal latency. Normal latency kind of maximizes the quality on YouTube. Low latency is nice for interactability. You can get that lower. I'm gonna put a link to the YouTube live video into the description. If you want to check out the result for yourself, just stream directly to YouTube out of Unreal Engine, which is really cool if you ask me. I think I never bothered to set the focus plane correctly, so this is probably always out of focus. Why don't I change that right now? Cinecam actor. I'm gonna go for focus. Focus method. Tracking. Select actor to track. Haha, MetaHuman. Okay, now it's in focus. Always in focus. Okay. Not that it matters too much. It's pretty much just the only element that's really composited right now. I mean, you'd actually just set the focus plane to something that kind of matches the focus plane, if you will, of your actual camera. And now, if I want to end my stream, I can just go to this OWL media output again and hit stop. The first time you hit start, you will have to sign into your Off-World Live account again and just enter the beta for now. I think it's the RTMP output is still in beta. Even more convenient, you don't have to stream to RTMP. You can save directly to a file. This is going to save to my video folder. And just going to be named, by default, it's going to be Unreal Engine, recording, something, something. Now, if you hit start here, this is just going to save directly to an MP4 container. Stop it. And now that is done. Open that up in VLC, for example. And this is just, this has just actually recorded my scene to an MP4 file. Very, very nice. So that should cover the media output section of the tutorial. Let's go do something else, because there's one more thing I want to show you. We have a MetaHuman, we have a bunch of cameras, and this thing, wait a sec. Could that be? Oh yeah, that's right. That is a 360 capture component. And this just outputs to a render target that I've created at 2560 by 1440. That is equirectangular video. And that is an equirectangular video that I've captured with a 360 camera. So let me just go and create a dedicated NDI output. Okay, name that 4K 360 video, NDI output, hit apply, close it, go back, and very quick, 4K 360. Ooh, what do we have here? Look at that. 4K 30 FPS 360 video projected directly to this beautiful inverse sphere. I can just go in here and check my 360 live stream again. And as you can see, this is composited perfectly. Like the perspective matches up perfectly. And this again is output as an equirectangular video. I'm just going to move this over here. Now that's the output. That's the scene. Scroll all the way over here and you can see there's text on the screen. Now, here's something that's so great about these OWL cam captures. You have all of these wonderful general show flags, for example, or advanced show flags. And now what I can just do is hit this little check mark next to render 3D text and just disable it. And with that, I can see my text in the scene here on the left, but not in the final output. Turn it on again, and there's my text again on the screen. Same thing goes, for example, for static meshes. That was very smart. I mean, of course, my background sphere is a static mesh, but haha, my MetaHuman isn't. That's right. I think that should fall under skeletal meshes. Right, so deactivate skeletal meshes, deactivate the MetaHuman. Show it again, skeletal mesh off, MetaHuman off. Super, super convenient. Because this is output to a render target, I can once again use the OWL media output and remember to censor this, stream to YouTube again. And all I have to do in YouTube to receive 360 video as such is toggle this check mark right here. And then one more thing, make sure that my OWL 360 cam capture is actually streaming in 16:9 because that is what YouTube recommends. And the output you get is just beautifully composited 360 video captured in wonderful equirectangular fashion, streamed directly to YouTube. And I will have an example stream of that also linked all the way down in the description. And that concludes today's showcase. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, or you can head right on over to the Offworld Live YouTube channel, which I'll be linking right here, somewhere on the screen, and get started on your live streaming, compositing, video in and out of Unreal journey. Like and subscribe.